We are coming to you from PNC Park in Pittsburgh, where tonight Comcast Sportsnet presents White Sox baseball. It's Jose Abreu, Avi Garcia, Melky Cabrera and the Sox as they get set to butt heads with Andrew McCutchen and Clint Hurdle's Pittsburgh Pirates. Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Ken Harrelson with Steve Stone as we get set to bring you the first of this two-game set. As you know, we come out of Tampa Bay with a little limp in our step. We gave them the first two games. They beat us yesterday, so that's just baseball. But having lost three in a row, we're coming up against a club who I was just talking with some scouts downstairs, and they say this is probably, the Pirates, the best outfield in baseball.
They're second in the league, and right now they're 8 over 500 at home. And this is a team led by two outfielders, their left fielder and their center fielder. And we're going to take a look at them. Starling Marte, probably their best outfielder overall. He's very strong, and he can hit him out any part of the ballpark, so they certainly love him, and he's a product of their system. Another product of their system is their center fielder, Andrew McCutchen, a former MVP. This guy can do just about everything. And he got off to a slow start this year, but things are starting to heat up for him. He's a guy normally that carries this team, and he's the guy they look to when it gets tough. They're in second place, and this is a good Pirate team. As you can see, both of these guys starting to heat it up. The last 5 games for Marte, he's been awfully good, hitting .458 with a home run and 4 driven in. Over the last couple of weeks for McCutchen, hitting .340 with a home run and 10 driven in. So these guys make it happen, and that means that it's going to be a difficult night in Pittsburgh.
Well, I don't care how good they are. If our guys throwing strikes, they got their hands full.
Carlos Rodon has been unbelievable lately, and we're going to take a look at the last 3 times out. And if you take a look at the last 3 times out where he's getting the ball over the plate, he's been tough. He faced Houston in Houston, then he faced Texas in Texas, and then he came back and once again faced the first-place team, Houston, in our ballpark, and things worked out very well for him. And unlike the 5 walks that he had in the start before, his last 3 starts, he has a total of 5 walks. And Rodon with a good slider and now a good pitching presence. Just 1-0 over the last 3 starts with a .98 ERA. I love the 19 strikeouts. I love the 5 walks. And the youngster is getting better with each and every start. So hopefully tonight he'll be just exactly as he's been.
All right, a couple of talented left-handers out there, Carlos Rodon and Francisco Liriano. So sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
Sportsnet is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. Audi. Truth in engineering. Xfinity. Your home for the most live sports. And by Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota. Let's go places.
From high atop PNC Park, it's a beautiful view from up here, and we are just about as high and as far away from the ballpark, from the field, as any park in the major leagues. But a gorgeous sight downtown Pittsburgh. And there you see, going over the rules, the ground rules of this ballpark. Really a terrific park. There you look at the downtown. This place for a right-hand hitter is a tough place to hit. For a left-hand hitter, you have to deal with 320 down the line and a 21-foot wall in honor of Roberto Clemente in right field. But right-handers who go to right field and left-handed pull hitters love it here in Pittsburgh. And the Pirates come in and they've been hot. Pirates have won 4 in a row. They won 8 of their last 10. They're 35-27 overall, 6 games in back of St. Louis. They're 19-11 here at home, so they've dominated things in Pittsburgh. And this is a team that the last couple of years finally has paid some dividends with all of those very high draft picks they've had, because they finished well down in the standings. And this team is mostly built with homegrown talent. Andrew McCutchen, one of those guys. Starling Marte, another one of those guys. So they've got, if you look around, and Polanco, who is not playing tonight, plays right field. And that's what Hawk was talking about in the open. They might have as good of outfield as anybody in baseball. So the Pirates take the field, and let's take a look at how Robin is going to line up our Sox. Yes, Robin is back after the graduation of his daughter. Adam Eaton is going to lead it off, and he scored 24 runs over the last 32 games with Alexei Ramirez in 2 spot. Jose Abreu, who does go to right field, he should love this park, in the 3 spot with Avisail Garcia, Melky Cabrera, Gordon Beckham at third base with Carlos Sanchez, Tyler Flowers, and Carlos Rodon, who says he can hit. Hit 270 in college, we'll see tonight. The defense and how they'll line up behind Francisco Liriano. Starling Marte is in left field. Andrew McCutchen in center. Jose Tabata is in right. And Jung Ho Gung is at third base with Jordy Mercer at second. Josh Harrison, who led the league in hitting last year. Sean Rodriguez at first. Francisco Cervelli, you might remember him with the Yankees. And our Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher is Francisco Liriano, who was once a member of these Sox. He's 3-5, but his ERA a very good 3.25. 87 strikeouts and 74 2/3 innings. Occasionally he has trouble repeating his motion, but this year his control has been better than it's been in recent years. The umpires for the game this evening: Tom Hallion is behind the plate. He's the crew chief. Bruce Dreckman is at first. Alfonso Marquez is at second, and Dan Bellino is at third. So the Pirates, who believe that they're going to win this division, despite the fact that St. Louis has controlled it for quite some time, they've thrown the ball around the infield, which means we're ready to play baseball, and I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
All right, Steve, thank you very much. And once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to White Sox Baseball right here on Comcast Sportsnet. So glad you could join us for the first of this 2-game set. And hopefully we can get something turned around. And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours. 31-year-old veteran Francisco Liriano. And the first pitch of the ball game.
Well, if that shows you that Tom Hallion is not going to call the high strike, then Adam Eaton is not going to be too upset about that, because that was in the zone.
And here at PNC Park, 325 down the left field line, 383 in left center, 399 in dead away center, 375 in right center, and 320 down the right field line with that 21-foot wall.
In left center field is a Bermuda Triangle. It's the deepest part of the ballpark. And you've got to have burners in left and in center to control all of that room in left center.
Well, they got one. There's a little bobble. You can't get him. So that'll be an error on Josh Harrison. Now that is what you get when you bust it down the line.
And knowing that Adam Eaton can run, Harrison probably tried to rush this play. He has made, however, his 9th error of the year, and Adam is just going full out. And because he's going full out, you can't afford a bobble even at second.
On the other side of that page, if you don't bust it and he makes that bobble and he throws you out, it makes the whole club look bad. So here's Alexei.
This Pirate team was wondering what they would do with the loss of Russell Martin, and then along came Francisco Cervelli, and he's done a terrific job for them.
Decent lead. And we will not be able to see the spin on the ball from our venue here.
That's for sure.
In fact, it's tough enough just to see the players.
We can see them, just can't tell who they are.
Alexei, 12 for 28 lifetime off Liriano. Sox come in hitting at .243 as a team with a 4.14 ERA.
Liriano's best pitch has always been that hard slider low and into the right-hand hitters.
When he was with us, he could not get the slider over, and he didn't have a changeup.
That was problematic, and he also would lose his release point, and inexplicably, maybe in one inning, he walked 4 guys. But now he's gotten the ball over the plate. This is the first time that Sox have met Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh since 2010.
And that's foul back, and that'll be a souvenir. Outfield straight up, spread out about equidistant, maybe just a slight gap out there in right center. That's inside.
Pan around, we show you the defense. They're pretty much bunching Alexei up the middle. With Mercer, who is a very steady, if not spectacular, shortstop, and Harrison will have occasional defensive problems.
That's hook foul. Sox have played Pittsburgh 26 times. Sox lead the all-time series 17-9.
And as you can see on Menard's pitch tracks, a couple of fastballs went inside. Other than that, he's kept the sliders down but out over the plate.
One out. All right, with one out, let's check out our picks to click. All right. Mangio, our director of the crew. Well, they went with Alexei. He's going with Gordon Beckham and Giancarlo Toronto. My buddies from Butterfield. We're going to go with Adam Eaton, standing on first base. Giancarlo, my golfing buddy. So here's Abreu. Hitting at .287, 12 homers. He's driven in 40.
It'll be real interesting to see if Liriano stays away from Abreu, because it's awfully inviting to hit the ball up the gap in right center field. He can also take the ball out easily in right.
And in center, .399. What a beautiful view. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous view. I love Pittsburgh.
It's got some beautiful suburbs surrounding downtown. Downtown has gotten a lot more vibrant.
The people here are just awesome.
And it's my first introduction to Italian wedding soup.
Fakes does not go. Well, you know, I've played a lot of pro-ams and tournaments in my life. The best one I ever played was right here in Pittsburgh out of Nevillewood. Mario Lemieux's tournament. The volunteers were just sensational and the crowds were just terrific. Big hack. And the count 1-2.
Good straight change. That was at 85 miles an hour. That's really been the big pitch that's put Liriano over the top.
And that pitch well inside. Back him up. And that'll do it. After half inning play, it's our guys nothing and their guys coming back.
Josh Harrison leading it off with Starlin Marte in the 2 slot. Then it's Andrew McCutchen, Jung Ho Gung, Francisco Cervelli, Jose Tabata, Jordy Mercer, Sean Rodriguez, and Francisco Liriano rounded out. The defense and how they'll line up behind Carlos Rodon. It's Cabrera, Eaton, and Garcia in the outfield with Beckham, Ramirez, Sanchez, and Abreu in the infield. Tyler Flowers behind the plate. And our Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher is Carlos Rodon. On for his 7th start, his 10th appearance overall. He's been brilliant recently. He's 2-0, his ERA 2.66, those 40 strikeouts in 40 2/3. He's getting the slider over the plate. He's gotten a little better feeling for his fastball, and he's using a straight change, which makes him doubly tough.
So here's Harrison at 268. 4 homers, he's driven in 20. Last year hit 315, 13 homers, and knocked in 52 while making the All-Star team.
When they got Harrison, they thought that he would be a decent hitter. They were worried about his fielding, but as it's turned out, he's been a terrific hitter. And his fielding has been certainly good enough where he can play third base, he can play outfield, both left and right. He can play second base as you look at Clint Hurdle, the skipper of this team. Clint's a good one.
Clint is one of the better ones. And I've known Clint a long time. I've known him since he was a rookie. coming into baseball. Pretty good left-handed hitter.
I would say he came in with as much acclaim as anybody in that era.
Yeah. And it's been fun for me because he's such a wonderful person. And he's had a lot of adversity in his life.
No doubt. And
to watch him grow and come into being one of the best managers in the game, boy, is he ever deserving. And there is ball 4.
Not a particularly good way to start it off. Harrison has decent speed, not great speed. He's swiped 5 bases and caught 3 times. His Piper team has been pretty aggressive. 46 steals, they've been caught 14 times.
Well, when you're carrying a 2.83 team ERA, you don't have to score a bunch. In fact, in this last 4 games, I believe they scored a total of 8 runs in this 4-game winning streak.
And they have a Cy Young Award potential winner, and Garrett Cole, their #1 pitcher, has won 10 games.
Gordon can't get it out of his glove. So Marte, that'll be a base hit, but a beautiful stop by Beckham.
Well, the hustling of Harrison made the play at second completely go away. And if he's not hustling, Gordon might have a shot at second, but then when he can't get the ball out of the glove, there's no play at first because Marte has very good speed. And this is an ominous beginning here in Pittsburgh.
Andrew McCutchen, 28 years old, out of Lakeland, Florida.
McCutchen started off hitting absolutely nothing in April. That's why when you look at that batting average now at 284, you realize how well he's done in May and the early parts of June.
Last year he had 314, 25 homers, and drove in 83, and covered and caught everything out there in center, right center, and left center. Probably one of the best center fielders in the game at coming in on the ball. See, a lot of guys can go back in center field. There's a strike.
Center field is very tough this time of night because Adam Eaton is the only man standing in bright sunshine. You see, because of the stands and how high they are, the only place where the sun sets is right in the eyes of the center fielder. In this case, it's Adam Eaton.
Boy, looking out over the Allegheny River, right down the road a little piece of Monongahela in the Ohio. Doesn't get much prettier than this.
No, gorgeous view, beautiful ballpark. And the fans have started to come back. This at one point was a great baseball town. They lost them for a while. They're back now.
So both runners advance. So Ducks on the pond and nobody out here in the bottom of the first inning on just one little infield hit to go along with that leadoff walk.
And the second wild pitch, as that ball bounces inside, bounces away from Tyler. That was a tough ball to handle. That ball bounced out of play, and base runners just moved up 1 base. So even more problems now with one of their leading, but not their leading run producer in McCutchen.
Three and one. That's going to score 1. Marte will stop at third. The leadoff walk crosses home plate.
RBI number 40 for McCutchen, and you fall behind where a hitter can look for a fastball, especially a hitter as good and as hot as McCutchen. Usually find yourself down. And runners at the corners and nobody out. Carlos has not had the same kind of control here early in this one as he's had over the last 3 games.
So here's Gong. Jung Ho Gong. 28 years old. Last year in Korea, next hit 356, 40 homers, and drove in 117.
Talk with their first base coach, Nick Laba, who's been around baseball forever. I asked him about Gung. He said, well, he plays occasionally at shortstop, but he believes he's better suited for third base. And that's where he is tonight. He said he's got a good first step, doesn't have overall great range as you look at Nick, who's been with a whole lot of teams for a whole lot of years.
And one of the big reasons is the fact that he is, first of all, a good baseball man. Second of all, he's just a good man.
Yeah, he's a really good guy, and he's been around and always seems to find a job. And justifiably so. He's a world of baseball knowledge.
Pitch is inside, so 2-1 the count.
A lot of managers don't like to run in the first inning, which is usually the toughest inning for any pitcher. But if Clint Hurdle decides, McCutchen, who doesn't run often these days, has swiped 3 bases, been caught twice.
And the count's 3-1.
There's Irvin Clint, giving his set of signs. And they will be radioed to Gung. Falling behind again, and Gung takes it through the left side, almost exactly where McCutchen hit it. So he drives in his 21st run. And 5 hitters into the first inning, there's still nobody out. So Don Cooper comes out to settle down his young left-hander, who hasn't had a whole lot of adversity the last 3 starts, but is experiencing some here. Welcome back, Robin. He didn't want to come back to this early. He was in constant touch with Mark Parent.
As we said at the top, if he's throwing strikes, they get their hands full. If he's not, we got our hands full, and that appears, to this point, to be the case. Can't pitch 2-0-3-1. And there is another base hit. That's going to score a pair. We're going to score to third base. Cincinnati has always played well against us, but here's just an experienced hitter going to the plate, knowing what's going on, watching Carlos down, get behind 3-1 to a couple of hitters in a row. You can bet the ranch that first ball fastball's coming.
That's exactly what he was looking for, and he got one down and out over the plate. And Cervelli's been the most pleasant surprise out of anybody coming to the ball club. They got him to replace Russell Martin as a guy who can handle a pitching staff. They've gotten a guy hitting over 320 who's driven in 18 runs. Didn't get too many triples, so he's enjoying that one.
8 doubles, 1 triple now. So the infield in. Still nobody out. Tabata hitting at 280. And like Cervelli looking first ball fastball gets it.
RBI number 4 for Tabata, who was taken off the 40-man roster and then had to really fight his way back. Looks for a fastball, gets it down, takes it inside out into right center field, and just like that, it's a 5-0 game, and still nobody is out.
Well, I guess the only thing we can say at this point is, come on, Hawks.
Or take a look that way, which is behind us, and see if the rain is coming. And there's a phone call, and Don Cooper wants to know if they're getting ready quickly enough in the bullpen.
Jordy Mercer hitting at .222, a couple of homers. He's driven in 11, but last year Mercer hit .255, 12 homers, and drove in 55. Talking to some scouts prior to the game, said he is very steady at shortstop. He has a good arm, except when he goes to his right, deep in the hole. Sometimes he just tries too hard, and he's prone to make some bad throws.
Well, they love his defense, and I think what the surprising thing is that he does have power. He hasn't shown it very much, but if you give him something that he can pull, he can hit it a long way.
We need a mulligan here. We need a redo.
Be nice. Be nice. Reboot. Not only in this, but in a lot of things in life, if you could get that reboot very early in the process. Hector Noese loosening up and getting ready in a hurry. In 2013, Mercer hit .285. And over the last 2 years, he's hit a total of 20 home runs, so things have moved along pretty well for him.
Well, when you can't get your slider, which is a great one, over, and you can't get your changeup over, you're in for a short night.
Slider predicated on getting ahead. If you don't get ahead, you got some big problems.
Tops that one foul.
Talked to Neil Huntington, the general manager of this team, and Neil spent 10 years with the Cleveland Indians organization. At first, they were using him strictly as a business-type front office person. In charge of the minor leagues, did a lot of negotiating contracts, and told Mark Shapiro, look, I really love going out there and looking at players and scouting. I'd like to get more involved on that side. So Mark, who liked Neil a lot, eventually gave him more responsibilities, and it's turned into the head job here, and he's done a great job. They had a lot of high picks. They made the most of them. So I asked him about Garrett Cole, who is among the best in baseball this year, and he's out of UCLA. They said his folks helped protect him early. Didn't allow them to make him throw too many pitches early. And they did a good job with him at UCLA, which doesn't happen in many programs. So they drafted him 1-1, first pick in the draft. And he's come of age before their eyes. He is a dominating starter.
There goes the runner. There's the strike him out and the throw him out. So 2 down.
This throw is right on the money. That's a slider. And that's one of the better throws Tyler has made. It's right there, waiting for Tabata to arrive.
Sean Rodriguez, the first baseman. Can't get it. Last year at Tampa Bay, hit 12 homers and drove in 41.
They love his versatility. He can play literally every position on the field. Tonight it happens to be first base. It's Pedro Alvarez not playing. That's one of the things that's surprising, Hawk, is that they got Gregory Polanco, who's a stud in right field. They got Pedro Alvarez at first base. They're both young left-hand hitters, and they don't play either of them against left-hand pitchers.
Well, they know their guys better than we do.
But one of the things we talked about early is getting tabbed as a part-time player. Polanco has all kinds of skills. He's their best base stealer by far. He can run. He can play the outfield and throw very well, but maybe they're waiting as he gets a little more experience to play him every day.
Well, they know his psychological makeup, where we don't. So that being the case, some guys you have to protect more than others. Other guys you can just let go out there. They can handle adversity. They have a good approach. As he gone, but they do some damage here. Big crooked number goes up on that board, and after one, it is 5-0 Pirates. Using the hashtag White Sox Talk, and make sure to follow us on Twitter at CSN White Sox. Use hashtag White Sox Talk to join the conversation.
There's only one good thing about what happened, and that is it's early in the ball game. Chris Sale, the first man to come up and just give the youngster a little verbal pat on the back. Everybody who's ever pitched knows what it's like to take a pounding in that first inning.
Well, it's not going to be the last time it happens.
Nope, it will not. Assuming he continues to go on to have the kind of career we both believe he's going to have, it will happen again. And maybe once after that.
Garcia, Cabrera, Beckham. Face Liriano. Beautiful evening here in Pittsburgh. Some rain is due. But it might be a little too much to ask for to get here before the fifth inning.
It did not stop.
Oh, and 1 the count. Well, our guys should know just after one inning and then watching them. Of course, they didn't see many pitches get to Tyler Flowers. But Tom Hallion's not going to call a high strike.
He's going to call the low strike, and he's going to disregard the high strike.
It's okay if he stays with it. Got him.
Sox fans, come out for specialty beer night on Thursday, June 18th. Sample up to 16 different beers and ciders with this $42 ticket package, which includes access to the tasting room from 5:40 to 7:30. You also get a lower box game ticket. To purchase, visit whitesox.com/specialty.
Well, if our guys are going to swing hard with 2 strikes on that changeup, we're not going to do too much against them.
Francisco, loves his changeup these days, and why wouldn't he? For Pittsburgh in 2013, he was 16-8, and he refined that changeup.
Melky to the wrong man.
One of the reasons I could never understand, and it happened a lot, when A.J. Pierzynski went to Minnesota, the fans booed him. And yet, in the deal with San Francisco, they got back Liriano, they got back Joe Nathan, they got back Boof Bonser. 3 for 1. I would think the fans in Minnesota would be ecstatic with A.J. They got a bunch back. And Liriano then hurt his arm, but Joe Nathan became very good for them, and Boof Bonser never realized what he was supposed to be. That was a good trade for both teams.
Well, Liriano was in the running for the Cy Young at rookie year in just a little over half a season.
Yeah. I remember talking with Terry Ryan, who was in the GM when he hurt himself, and I asked him about his arm at that point, and he just shook his head. He was very dejected. He said, "It's just not good." And then he went on to have Tommy John surgery.
Young, good play. 1-2-3 inning. It is 5-0 Pirates.
Time later in the game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
So Liriano will lead it off. He is 2 for 24 with the lumber this year.
He does have a couple of sacrifices, however. And in the National League, it helps if you can hit, but if you can't, you better be able to bunt. Safe to say he's taking this one.
3-0.
He didn't even stand in the box for that one.
There's one. There's two. He gone. Good comeback.
Got 3 strikeouts in a row. Maybe that will help settle him down as we move to the top again.
Here's a man that started off that 5-run first with the base on balls. Josh Harrison. There's a souvenir right side. Pirates averaging almost 27,000 a game. 26, 9, 14.
Harrison came over from the Cubs in a deal that sent John Graybo and Tom Gorzolani to Chicago.
Change up. First of a brief 2-game set. Tomorrow night, Jose Quintana against Charlie Morton.
Might as well go on the same plane as the Pirates are coming back to U.S. Cellular Field to play a 2-game series, so it's 4 in a row against these Buccos.
Nice piece of hitting right there. Not trying to do too much. Nice approach to it.
This pitch is out away and tailing away. It's not even a strike. And Harrison just reaches out with good plate coverage. And it's a line drive by Jose into right field.
Well, if he swings hard at that pitch, he's probably going to miss it, number one. And if he does hit it, it's probably going to be a little right off the end of the bat. It'll pop up a ground out. But he didn't swing hard. So here's Marte. He had an infield single. Just tuning in, first 5 Pirates to hit the bottom of the first score. There he goes.
That time he had a running start. It really didn't matter what Tyler did. Harrison just was going on first move. And he outran the throw easily. He was actually going well before Carlos delivered the baseball. Stolen base number 6 for Harrison.
Gordon making his own hop. Throws him out. 2 down. So here's McCutcheon. He worked the 3-1 count, ripped the single in the hole between third and short for an RBI.
Good stop by Tyler as that ball moving down and in. Joshua was able to get out of the way. Andrew had a good shot at back-to-back MVPs. He had a great year last year. Just didn't win it. that's probably separated Andrew McCutchen from a lot of guys who can hit the ball out of the ballpark and run is the fact that the last 3 years he's had a 400 or better on base percentage, so he will take his walks.
Back up. What a play by Gordon, saving a run. Wow. And it'll retire the side. We'll go to the third. We trail at 5-0.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the
Six to 9 at Firewater Saloon in Edison Park. Come out for the fun, test your sports trivia knowledge, and you could win big. Beer money presented by Coors Light. Sanchez, Flowers, and Rodon. Top of the third.
Somewhat surprising defense in that Rodriguez is way off the line at first. Harrison is playing up the middle. They're actually playing him as a right-handed pull hitter.
Well, let's see. Infield coach tells you that's not unusual for a guy who doesn't play that much first base. They have a tendency to, as Leon's got it, they have a tendency to want to show you how much range they have. This is a conscious thing, you know.
Well, he is a guy who can play third, short, and second, so
well,
I
he's
assume
an
he's got
all-purpose
range.
player.
Yeah. Good buddy of mine still has hope for this game this evening. 94-year-old Michael Berman looking on in Scottsdale.
Tyler hitting at 205, 3 homers. He's driven in 13. Down the right side, foul ground.
Pretty good play by Tabata as he calls off Rodriguez and makes a much easier play for a right fielder coming in than a first baseman going out.
Number 55,
This should be interesting, as Carlos told us he had 270 North Carolina State.
I think that's probably what got him off to a bad start. He was upset because he was hitting ninth.
A lot of guys these days hitting pitchers eighth around baseball.
Well, that's happened a lot in the past as well.
Yeah.
It's like we were talking the other day. Baseball for years, 98% of the managers, every time a club's having trouble scoring runs, they put the big bats in there, even to the peril of bad defense, which it should be just the opposite. Keep the other team from scoring. Meanwhile, strikes him out. That's 8 in a row retired by Liriano.
Tech in Fayette County, Iowa.
Five nothing bad guys. 5 quick ones in the first inning with not an out recorded.
But there is a bit of a wind tunnel here, and doesn't affect it all that much, but the ball usually will carry to left and left center field. Not much of a wind here tonight, however, but that is the wind tunnel.
First pitch strike to Gong. Jung-Ho Gong, who got a 3-1 count. And like McCutcheon, ripped a single in the hole between third and short for an RBI.
Now makes his home in Seoul, Korea.
Yanks that one foul.
.55 pitches, and this would be another lesson learned in the major leagues. If he can come back and string together some good innings, stay out of the bullpen after disastrous first.
Gordon Beckham again. Mercy. Wow.
That's a 2-base hit down the line, taken away as Gordon moving to his right. You see Dan Bellino saying that that's a fair ball. Gordon already has had a terrific night at third base.
Well, we were just talking about when you are not scoring runs, which we have not been scoring runs, you put not your best bats in there. prone to let runs in and give the other team 30, 31 outs. You put your good defense in there.
And Gordon certainly fills that bill. And against a left-hander, the left side of the infield usually gets a whole lot of work. Here's our Xfinity high-speed action replay, and for Cervelli, it's his first triple of the year, driving in 2 runs.
Well, that was an experienced hitter's triple, or base hit. He had gone for 2 straight 3-1 counts. He walked the guy over. He knows he's going to get first ball fastball. He got it and just drilled it into right center.
Goes the second hit of the night for Cervelli. Looks he just has the ball tipped off the glove. And Cervelli's aboard.
So here's Tabata. An RBI thing. And that was on first ball fastball. Did it turn it? Yes. Rack him up. Beautiful play by Gordon Beckham. Helps.
On the Rangers, the White Sox are offering specially priced tickets to all Indiana residents, their family, and their friends. To purchase tickets, visit whitesox.com/NWI Sox fans.
We don't have a hit. He has retired 8 in a row. The only base runner we had reached on an error. Adam Eaton reached on an error by a second baseman, Josh Harrison. Gordon Beckham's already saved 2 runs in this game.
It certainly helps to have seen him one time and know now that he'll throw his straight change at any count. His fastball not overwhelming, but he does have a good slider, and hopefully the second time through be a little more effective than the first time through.
Well, right-handers have got to try to beat him to right field. It's just that simple. Everything's going away. That slider, you back off a little bit, whereas He can't get it down and in on you. And conversely, left-handers are better off standing on top of the plate and beating him to right field. You beat him to the arm side. Cooperstown is full of guys who beat pitchers to the arm side field.
He's going inside with the first 2 fastballs. Hit one, missed one.
Two and one.
That's a pretty good pitch, but again, we talked about Tom Hallion not giving the high strike. That one had the whole plate in the zone, but he didn't get the high strike.
And a good way to start it. First walk issued. Valeriano. And here's Alexei. Alexei struck out on a good changeup.
Time now for AT&T Uverse Multiview. We get the center field shot. And the lead at first by Adam Eaton.
Ball gets by Cervelli. Let's just start pecking away. We got plenty of time.
That is a passed ball. Cervelli waiting for the ball inside. Gets it there and just misses it. So that takes a double play out of the equation.
Ball and 2 strikes. If you're just tuning in, they scored 5 times without an out being recorded at the bottom of the first. Started with a leadoff walk. Infield single, another single, another single, 2-run triple, another single. Poof. 5 spot. One out.
Actually didn't like the call of Bruce Dreckman, but it appeared that he went around.
From up here, it looked like he did.
That's 2 up, 2 strikeouts. Take a look at the high fastball.
Here's Abreu, hit into a 6-4-3 double play.
That ball way inside, called strike. There's plenty of room on the right side for Jose to drive it through, even with Rodriguez way off the bag. There's a young Bucko fan.
One and two. Take him into right field. See? Harrison standing right behind second. Now moves back.
Good hard slider down and out of the zone. And he fans Jose.
But you can't take the changeup away from him. You can't do that. There's not any place you can stand in the box to take the changeup. Sometimes you can limit his fastball to where you want it, so to speak, creating your own strike zone. But the one pitch you can't take away from Liriano, and the one pitch you can take away, is the slider. Unless he's going backdoor you. How many is he going backdoor you 3 times in one at bat?
No, that's really not his strong suit anyway. His strong suit is inside to right-handers, outside to left-handers with that slider.
That's it. Now he struck out on the changeup.
So he threw him another one and has him well out in front of it.
Ball way outside.
Pirates really like their catching combination of Chris Stewart and Francisco Cervelli. Talking with Neil Huntington, he was absolutely ecstatic with what they've given their pitching staff as well as some offense.
Tasting that one off the plate.
Stewart hitting .290. Cervelli hitting right around .320. You can catching duo.
Well, we had Chris in our system. Good catcher. Threw it well. But was soft at that time with the lump.
Yeah, didn't expect him to be hitting around .290. And there's no way they expected Cervelli to be hitting .320, but hitting it he is.
Well, Cervelli, if you look at him, he's a .278 career hitter. And he'll hit well, played well against us. He was in that Yankee.
That's a good stop as that one bounced way in front of the plate. Cervelli said he really likes catching Liriano because it's a challenge, and the challenge is that seemingly he throws every other pitch in the dirt. So if he likes a challenge, he's getting it once again here tonight.
Well, Liriano's probably learned that slow and low is better than hard and high. Strikes out the side. Now has 6 strikeouts.
Red Sox take on the Orioles. The first 20,000 fans will receive a Bobby Jenks World Series moment bobblehead presented by Comcast Sportsnet. For tickets, call 866-SOX-GAME or visit whitesox.com/promos. There's a look at Pops. Willie Stargell, Hall of Famer and one of the Pirate greats, along with Roberto Clemente and that fabled 1971 season. And of course, Stargell, co-MVP in '79 when he helped lead the Pirates to the World Series title, defeating the Orioles in '7.
Well, if he'd have been playing in this ballpark, he'd have filled that rubber up.
This for a left-handed pull hitter is a dream.
I mean, he would have hit a bunch in the Allegheny River. There's a shot. Brody Mercer will start it off with a double.
They weren't playing him as a pull hitter, which is a problem when you keep the ball down and inside. And Mercer just rifles his ball into left field. You see Melky playing him over into left center field. So they were playing him as an off-field hitter. And Mercer with his 6th double of the season.
And here's Rodriguez. The veteran knows what he's supposed to do.
He has the ability to bunt, and will do it. He's got a couple of sacrifices.
And he's going to get it done. 1 out.
He went up with the idea to take that ball to the right side and wait for a pitch and he could do it. That pitch was out away, and he got it done. That was probably the sign from Clint Hurdle to Rick Sofield to have him take one.
You think?
Well, you never know. He might be
Deking our sign stealers.
trying to deceive the opposition.
He might. Which I have seen done. Just keep giving the take sign. So Alvin Dark was an outstanding manager many years. A few times give a 3-2 take to pitchers, certain pitchers.
Well, he took all the pitches in the 2nd inning. And that time, he swung with a ball 1 count. A little tardy, but he swung. Infield in at all 4 positions.
Off the glove, so that'll be 1-6-3.
Good thing that one bounded right at Alexi instead of to either side. So Liriano makes contact. Just a little too tall for Carlos. And Alexi right there. No way in the world Mercer can take off even after the carom. So now Robin comes out. Has a word with him. He's yet to retire Harrison in 2 at-bats.
He walked in to lead off the bottom of the 1st, and that started off that 5-run 1st inning. And Josh singles and stole 2nd in the 2nd.
You can see the 1st inning with 33 pitches. Just about half his total here into the 4th.
Outfield bunching him, especially Cabrera and Eaton. Gap out there in right center. With Avi well off the line and right. So it is 6-0.
Avi at number 21, and now Harrison has been on all 3 times. Two fastballs that had the whole plate. So that is going to be it for Carlos, just not his night tonight. And he will exit a very disappointed young man as Daniel Webb comes into this one. So as he trots in, we'll step out and be back after these messages. And is Daniel Webb. He comes in with Harrison at first base, on for the 6th time. He does not have an ERA yet. 7 hits and 7 1/3, 9 strikeouts and 1 walk. So he's been pretty good out of the pen. And he's got to hold them right there. You don't want to go too deep into the bullpen tonight. So we've got to face these Pirates 4 times in as many days. 2 and 2. 2 here, 2 at home.
Starling Marte, 1 for 2, an infield single and a run scored. Takes a strike. Harrison stole that base back in the second. That's the 6th in 9 attempts.
There's a good hard sinker, and that one just dove out of the zone. I tell you, he's pretty much built like a linebacker and has excellent speed. Can play any of the 3 outfield positions.
Fastball at 97. Outfield straight up. Spread out a little bit, not equidistant. Lovely, lovely evening here in Pittsburgh. Everything except the score.
Marte got to the big leagues in 2012. He was signed as a non-drafted free agent back in 2007. And every year, starting in 2012, he's gotten better. His batting average has gone up each and every year. Last year he hit .291. And this year, before it's all over, he'll probably surpass that.
And that's tough out. Marte, he got called up to the big leagues. It's the first pitch he saw in Major League Baseball out of the ballpark. Dallas Keuchel.
Guy that doesn't give up too many home runs.
There he goes.
Stolen base number 2, and that time nobody paid attention to him. Heads up play by Harrison. They're not going to pay attention to you. You might as well take off. He just barely got a piece of that and fouled it off.
Now somebody better hang out, even with 2 out. I hate to see uncontested stolen bases.
They lead to runs.
Read it off, and now he bobbles it.
Well, you had him dead to rights as Marte was just hung up.
We are just in a funk now defensively that is absolutely ugly. Ugly.
RBI number 44 for Marte. So after the uncontested stolen base, a base hit up the middle. And then the relay throw coming to Jose right in the middle of the diamond. And he's got Marte hung out to dry. He just misses the baseball. It's single, run batted in, the 44th, E3.
Andrew can't get that one. He had an RBI single and a run scored in the first, and he was robbed of extra bases and an RBI on a brilliant play by Beckham in the second.
You can close a book on Carlos. He went 3 2/3, gave up 7 runs on 9 hits, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. Fell behind early. And then the Pirates just jumped on him for a 5 spot in the first.
Well, he had 2 3-1 counts. One on McCutcheon, one on Gum. And then he got base hit. RBIs, both scored. And then Cervelli with that 2-run triple on the first pitch fastball. And Tabata, first pitch fastball with an RBI single.
That fan had all the bases covered here at the ballpark and watching the hockey game on a tablet.
But they pick up a pair, they lead us 7-0.
Mullet Night, presented by Great Clips. You can get haircuts and mullet wigs, and all of your purchases will support Ronald McDonald House Charities. There's also a post-game fireworks show, so Great Clips. It's going to be great. Purchase tickets. Visit whitesox.com/group.
First pitch to Melky Cabrera. We trail it 7-0, but before we can get any runs, we got to have some hits. We have not had any of those. We've had 2 base runners, both of them. Adam Eaton reached on an error and a walk, and that's going to be our first hit. So you can cancel a post-game show.
Melky has always hit Liriano well. And he takes it right back up the middle. The no-hitter goes by the boards. And a high changeup eludes a diving Mercer and Harrison.
How about Max Scherzer?
16 Ks and a 1-hitter.
Did you see the hit?
No, broken bat variety.
It was the poster child for duck snort. A big swing. Like Gomez, Carlos Gomez, and a little flare just over the outstretched diving effort by the second baseman.
Max can really do it. They paid him handsomely in Washington. And he'd be among the league leaders in just about everything if they'd scored him a few runs.
Well, that's taking on Tampa Bay down in St. Pete.
Not faring very well. That Tampa Bay team is really something.
Well, it's again, you look at the club talent-wise, and you say, "What? Those guys just beat us 3 in a row." Come on.
Kevin Cash has got that team executing every time he puts something on, whether it's a bunt or a hit and run or defensive execution. They're getting it done.
That ball hit high, right size, wrong shape for Beckham.
You can take it down the line here. It's not difficult to hit a home run. But unfortunately, Gordon out just a little too quickly. And that ball hooked in front of the pole.
Gordon 0 for 1. Gung made a good play on him at third base.
Set him up with a slider inside before going back to that changeup. Kept it down and out of the zone.
Well, if he throws it for a strike, he's made a mistake.
Almost without exception, when he has missed, it hasn't been often with the changeup, he's missed well down and out of the zone.
Out of play right side off the bat of Carlos Sanchez. With a high chopping comebacker to Liriano.
That was a nice stop by Cervelli. He's let one get by tonight for a pass ball, but he stopped everything else. And Liriano is not easy to deal with for any catcher, because just about 50% of the time he's going to throw it in the dirt. There you look at some pretty impressive numbers with 1 walk, 7 strikeouts, and the 1 hit leadoff single by Melky.
Back him up. We're halfway home, trailing 7-0.
as Hector Noesi comes in the game. It's 7-0. Things not doing very well here in Pittsburgh, and Hector on for the 10th time. 15 walks, 20 strikeouts in 29 2/3 innings. He's allowed 7 home runs. And with him coming in and placed into the 7th spot, vacated by Sanchez, Emilio Bonifacio checks in at second base, and he's going to hit in the 9th spot. So when the Sox come to bat, it'll be Flowers, Bonifacio, and Eaton. And in the meantime, Webb is out, Noesi is in.
Here's Gung. 40 homers last year in Japan. 117 RBIs. Hit 356. Last time Hector was out there was June the 5th against the Tigers. Gung took over, I guess, Mansuli's mound. Mansuli, of course, known as the Babe Ruth of Korean baseball. Coached with us, and just a wonderful person. Two and two the count. Make that June 6th the last time Hector was out there. Ball hit hard but foul.
Got that ball up and on the inner portion of the plate. And Gung hit the daylights out of it. Fortunately on the left side of the line.
Guarding the plate. First of two. Quintana against Morton tomorrow night. In that game also right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Martin's 4-0. So there's the leadoff walk.
White Sox fans, show your Sox pride and open a new White Sox checking account and debit card with your local Wintrust Community Bank. Wintrust is a proud supporter of the Chicago White Sox charities and will donate $25 for every account opened this season. Visit wintrust.com/youdecide for details. Gung 4 for 4 in stolen bases. The Pirates have 2 and 2 attempts, both by Harrison.
So rarely that 2-run triple and a run scored, also a single. Tampa Bay stretching that lead to 5-0 over Washington. Bottom of the 4th. That's a Trop. Chops that one foul.
Pirates have dominated here at PNC Park. They're 19-11 coming into action tonight. Only St. Louis in the division is any better. They're 24-7, and we will be in St. Louis this year facing those Cardinals.
Got that one in on him. So the count 1-2.
Outfield straight away. Cervelli has yet to be retired. Line drive right field, but slicing foul. Wind not much of a factor here tonight. What little there is blowing out toward left center field. Short lead at first by Gung, and now time is called. An excuse me swing fouled up the line. So this Pirate team has hit 50 home runs this year, and they've stolen 48 bases. And Clint Hurdle, very happy with the last couple of years after suffering through some very bad years here. That one misses inside, and the count evens at 2-2. Hurdle managed at Colorado. Very difficult place to manage. It's very, very difficult to work your pitching staff in Colorado. There's a tendency when your starter gets in trouble is to go that pen, and you can't do that in Colorado. You run through too many pitchers too quickly. That misses down, and the count goes full.
Well, they've tried just about every theory and every theorem that you can try to build the Rockies into a contending team, and none of them have worked.
Nope. And they've tried paying for starters.
That one run they made where they got to the playoffs was, phenomenal. But they went 22 of 23.
And he misses. So 2 walks to start the bottom of the 5th. Now, Denny O'Dowd did a whole lot of different things. He decided he would pay for starting pitching with Denny Nagel, Dan Hampton, not Dan Hampton, but Mike Hampton, and that didn't work very well. Then he decided that he would go for offense. That worked in the 3rd year of their existence. They made the playoffs. The Blake Street Bombers. Didn't work after that. Then they tried stacking their bullpen. That didn't seem to work either. So far, they haven't found the formula, even though they did play, and they got into the World Series. Just didn't get the job done. Good slider for a strike.
Tabata, the single, knocked in a run, and it'll go 6-4-3 double play. Well, after watching him for all these years, the only thing I could suggest if they want to try to do something on a consistent basis is get the best defensive team they can get. And this is a rack 'em up right here. So 2 down. You don't have to be a stud to hit home runs at Coors Field.
No, especially to right center field, because it's a low fence. It's only 375. You can just flip it out of there. But they've never done a whole lot to help their pitchers. They've never had high infield grass to help ground balls, because It's not only fly balls go out of there, but ground balls shoot through there.
So here is Mercer. A strikeout, a double, and a run scored. Colorado, if you're going to run there on a consistent contending team, you better be able to catch it better than everybody in your division, and you better be able to run.
Well, they've got a great left side with Arenado and Tulowitzki. And Tulowitzki is healthy.
Exactly. He's healthy. Arenado is just about as good as anybody down there at third base. But you better have everybody in that lineup who can catch it.
You got to have a burner in the outfield because it's not the home runs, it's those doubles and triples in the gap. It's the biggest outfield in the major leagues.
It's got to play. Outfield slightly to the right. Mercer last year, 12 homers, 55 knocked in. Put some top hand on that one.
We talked about how strong Mercer is, although he hasn't shown it a lot this year. But he can hit him a long way.
And that's way low.
He was in college. He was a shortstop. And he was a closer. That's kind of unique. You don't find too many guys doing that.
He's Oklahoma State's all-time safety.
Yep.
Seven nothing. Pirates. Here in their half of the fifth inning. They scored 5 runs without us recording an out in the bottom of the first if you're just tuning in.
Mercer in college blew a save and then came to bat, hit a home run to win the game. So we got a win, game-winning home run, and a blown save all in the same game.
That ball hit deep into right field. Nobody's going to get it. Off the bottom of the fence, and it's 8-0.
2 doubles for Mercer. This is his 12th run driven in.
Leadoff walk comes around the score.
Gets that fastball on the outside corner. And takes it against the wall. Even on a good play on the carom, no chance to get Mercer at second base. And the hit and run parade continues.
Rodriguez has struck out and bounced out 4-3. Fouls out back into the seats. That ball hit hard in the center field, but we got a man there in front of the track. They put one on the board. We go to the 6th inning. We need a whole bunch of runs. sports stories, trending topics, and much more with the Cap and Hall Show. Here's David Cap, the team's Chicago Tribune writer David Hall, to deliver the best 1-2 punch in sports talk. The Cap and Hall Show, weekdays at 9 on Comcast Sports.
Beautiful view from high atop PNC Park. It's downtown Pittsburgh. They're renovating it. And now that Heinz Field football stadium is brand new in downtown, and this ballpark downtown is starting to get some life to it.
Tyler Flowers will lead it off. He'll be followed by Emilio Bonifacio. Then back to the top of the order. If you're just joining us, we have one hit. We've only had 3 base runners, an error, a walk, and that one hit by Melky Cabrera.
And Tyler, looking back at Tom Hallion as he takes a strike that was a good couple inches inside.
One out. 8 strikeouts now for Liriano.
Liriano's slider tonight has been excellent. It's been quick. It's been pretty much in the same spot, down and into the right-handers, and
I have not seen him hang one slider tonight.
He's gotten just about everything over the plate. He did walk Eaton in the 4th, and that was it. And he hasn't been behind as Emilio Bonifacio gets his first at bat. He came in the flip-flop batting order, inserted into the 9th spot.
They scored 5 in the 1st, 2 in the 4th, and 1 in the 5th. Two down.
That time he set him up inside and then threw a high fastball right by him. Liriano's had excellent stuff tonight. Everything moving. A fastball anywhere from 94 to 96.
The 0-1 pitch. The Pirates coming in with a 2.83 team ERA.
Command track for Liriano. He's throwing 68% strikes, and even better, 16 of 19 first pitch strikes. Pretty impressive.
Pitch outside, even to count at 2. Well, unfortunately, the forecast was wrong. When I saw the local meteorologist.
Supposed to be some heavy rains.
Yes. The one I saw said starting around 6 o'clock and lasting to about 11 to 12. Now we understand it's supposed to be about midnight. But he strikes out the side. He has 10 strikeouts. Not been a good trip. We go down to Tampa Bay. We give them the first 2 games. They just beat us yesterday 2-1. We give up 5 runs in the first inning. So,
well, unfortunately, Carlos Rodon did not have it. And Pittsburgh is playing pretty good baseball right now. They've won 4 in a row. They came out loaded for bear tonight. Carlos didn't have his good location, didn't have his good stuff, and the Pirates made him pay. And Liriano has been all everything to this point.
well, they told us. I was talking to Clint Hurdle and some of the Pittsburgh coaches prior to the game, and they said Liriano has really been pitching well along everybody else on the staff. You got to have a 2.83 team ERA. So we knew we were probably going to see some good pitching, but wow. 10 strikeouts, 1 hit, 1 walk through 6 innings.
Pittsburgh in the middle of the pack offensively and toward the bottom of the pack defensively.
Well, they have made a lot of errors. In fact, they've made more errors than we have. But when you get that 283, when you're carrying that 283, that'll cover up a lot of stuff. And, of course, it's when you make the errors. We've been making them at crucial times, giving up runs. Short into short center field. Bonifacio.
Join White Sox Charities in celebrating the 10-year anniversary of the 2005 World Series by signing up for the Championship Giving Campaign. Fans can support the campaign by making a donation at special levels honoring the 2005 season. Donors will receive commemorative gifts for their donation. For more information, visit whitesox.com/championshipgiving.
Here's Harrison. He's perfect on the evening. He walked and scored in the first. Singled and stole a base in the second. Had an RBI single and a run scored and another stolen base in the fourth. He finished 9th in the balloting last year for MVP.
He was all everything for them, and it was somewhat surprising because he just hit the ball consistently all year long. He played a whole lot of different places and played just about everything well.
Well, he's not doing anything at the plate except he's not trying to do too much. That's why he's hitting line drives all over the ballpark.
Well, that time he just reached out. That pitch was off the plate outside. It's somewhat surprising. When you get that kind of plate coverage, you can see the raised front foot. He just reaches out.
He's done it all 3 of his hits.
3 for 3. Pretty impressive.
So Abreu's going to play behind him with his 8-0 lead. Short lead. And there's trouble. Just inside the line. So Harrison's going to score. Here's the throw to third base. They'll get. No, now the ball gets away and he's going to score. So it's a 10-0 game.
Now we'll have to see where they charge the air.
There should be an error on the Looks like he had the ball and just tried to make the tag, even though the throw could have been much better.
Most likely going to be a 2-base hit as Marte takes it down the right field line. But he's going to pick up his 3rd hit. Top of the order has been devastating tonight as that one rattles around in the corner. Harrison scores. There's no play on that.
No, I don't know about there. There's got to be an error on the throw.
No, it looks to me like that one is way wide. Well, we'll see what the official scorekeeper said. We do know it's going to be second error of the night. Error on
and it
Beckham.
will be an error on Beckham. That ball hit deep into center field. So McCutcheon. We just look like a totally deflated ball.
And Pittsburgh looks exactly what they are, which is a contending team battling once again for not only a spot in the playoffs, but a team that believes that they can win the division. As that ball is rifled all the way against the wall in one of the deeper parts of the park. McCutcheon, along with Marte, both are starting to really heat it up.
Here's Gung. RBI single, run scored in the first, robbed of extra bases by Beckham. In the third, he walked to lead off the fifth and scored.
Well, there was some news out of San Diego today that I hated to see, and that was Bud Black relieved of his duties as the manager of the San Diego Padres. Padres only 1 game under 500. And that one into the stands, and nobody is hurt.
More and more bats are flying into the stands.
He's got a good seat and a souvenir and comes away relatively unscathed.
And that's in the gap.
That's 3 doubles in a row. And not a cheapie in the bunch. They were all scalded. So Gung with his second hit, his second run batted in. His 22nd run batted in of the year.
The only thing Coop can tell him is, hey, Hector, hang with him, buddy. We need you. Give us a couple more innings.
Sometimes you just have to take one for the club. This might be one of those times.
He hadn't been out there till since June 6th, I should say. not exactly like you can expect him to be sharp.
And we had the 3 against Tampa Bay, 2 here in Pittsburgh, then 2 against Pittsburgh, then 3 against Texas, those 5 at home. Then it's on to Minnesota and Detroit with no off day before the 29th of June. So you can't decimate that bullpen here this evening, which means that there's a few folks whose ERAs are going to go up.
That's going foul. Going to be caught by Bonifacio, gets it back in. So out number 2.
Pirates have 15 hits, and 10 of them have come from the first 4 in the batting order, as Harrison, Marte, McCutchen, and Gung have been red hot tonight as a force.
12 of them from the first 5 innings. Tabata. RBI single in the first, and then he hit into a 6-4-3 double play, and then he hit into a 4-6-3 double play. We have turned 3 double plays tonight. He's going to get him, but they put a 3 spot on the board. Win to the 7th. Trailing big. Well, our offense looks to hand Charlie Morton his first loss of the season. He's 4-0. He's 4-0. White Sox Pirates tomorrow at 6 on CSN Chicago. $11-0 bad guys.
Gregory Polanco checks in the game in left field. And Starling Marte moves from left field to center field. Polanco normally a right fielder, but he can play them all.
Alexei is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Ariano with giving up 1 hit, 1 walk, and 10 strikeouts. Has not hung 1 breaking ball tonight. Rounded off. Can't get it. It'll be a base hit.
This is where a good fielding pitcher is going to really help himself. This is right back up the middle. Liriano, who falls off drastically to the third base side, vacates the area. Harrison makes a good play, but can't get it there in time.
Here's Abreu. He's 0 for 2, hit into a 6-4-3 double play and a strikeout. This could be another double. Oh, yeah. I think he was going to make it. Coming across that bag like he did, but he did. And it's 2 down.
Second time that Jose is grounded into a double play. And Harrison, most unusual style as he comes running across the bag, takes some extra steps, but gets it there in time. So we told you that Marte shifted from left to center, bringing Polanco into the game, and there are a few folks in this organization, more than a few, that believe that Polanco has more raw talent than anybody in this lineup. And they've got some very good players in this lineup.
Avi has had a tough 2 at-bats against Doriano. Couple strikeouts. Basically, that changeup setting up everything. Got him expanding his zone.
McCutcheon will leave the ball game. He's done enough damage for one night.
And that fastball. One and 2 the count.
Nice, dude.
11 strikeouts, 7th inning stretch.
Sox have been out hit 15-2. And the Wessing continues to try to eat up some innings and keep the ball club from using the rest of the bullpen.
Mercer to lead it off. He's 2 for 3 with a couple doubles, an RBI, and a run scored. Jordy Mercer. Going to the count. Anaheim's at 0-2.
They throw a fastball upstairs and throw it by him. When you haven't been out there, you just don't have a consistent release point, and that time Hector just got under it and it stayed up. And that time he looked at a good fastball for a strike. Want to find bacon on a stick? Direct to Redline Trains after the game. Interested in a seat upgrade? You can download MLB.com Ballpark, the official U.S. Cellular Field Ballpark app for iPhone and Android smartphones. Visit whitesox.com/ballpark app to learn more.
John Rodriguez. 0-1 to count. John is 0 for 3. A strikeout, a ground out, and a fly out deep to center. Two and two. Throw is off the mark, and this will be an error on Alexa. Third error.
Rodriguez hustling down the line. Alexi takes all kinds of time. Unfortunately, too much time. Throws it wide of the bag, and on the swipe, Rodriguez slides his foot over the bag, and the White Sox are challenging a safe call for that all-important 12th run.
Win, lose, and draw on this call. This is June 15th, and with the exception of two little brief spurts, we can't play any worse than we played this year.
Nope.
Cannot play any worse than we have played.
One of the reasons why when you catch the baseball, you'd like to get rid of it quickly. So if you do pull the man off the bag, he can readjust and then make the tag. So the umpires have it under review. They will decide in New York. Throw is well off the mark.
Looks like he got it.
Bruce Dreckman on the call.
Right on the thigh.
And the call down on the field is he's safe. We'll see what it looks like.
Yeah, if you're just tuning in, they scored 5 in the first before we could get an out. Added 2 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, 3 in the 6th. And they lead it 11-0.
Detroit leading Cincinnati 6-0. That game at the end of 7. Baltimore leading Philadelphia 4-0. That game in the bottom of the 8th. That's in Baltimore. Houston 5-0 leaders over Colorado. That game in Houston. Kansas City leading Milwaukee 3-0. That game in Milwaukee. So the call on the field stands, and it is E6.
So here's Liriano. Pretty good hack at that one. Well, the short time that Liriano was with us, we saw what kind of person he was. He's a gentleman. He's a hard worker. He was good in that clubhouse, and he's a good teammate.
And with Pittsburgh, he's turned into, once again, what he was a very good pitcher. That first full season where he hurt himself with Minnesota, he was 12-3 before his arm blew out. Headed for a huge year. Unfortunately, he became headed for Tommy John surgery.
So 2 down. So here's Harrison. Gosh, still perfect on the evening. He's 3 for 3 with a walk. Scored 3 times and knocked in 1. Picked up 2 stolen bases. So a big night for the 27-year-old infield. Tampa Bay still shutting out Washington. Now it's 6-0, bottom of the 6th inning. Atlanta leading Boston 4-1. Bottom of the 8th at Fenway. Hit him on the fist, flares it into the seats right side for a souvenir.
One of the biggest stories in baseball, the Toronto Blue Jays, winners of 11 in a row, tied up at 2 heading into the top of the 9th inning with the New York Mets. There's only been 7 hits combined for those 2 teams.
There's another hit for Harrison. With a nice easy swing of his.
And again, he picked on a pitch out of the strike zone. Boy, he looks like one of the all-time Pirate very good players, Manny Sanguillen, who had a nose-to-toe strike zone. It was probably 30 inches wide. The plate's only 17, and Sanguillen hit everything, and that's what Harrison is doing tonight.
Well, you can do that if you've got a nice, smooth swing. If you swing hard, you cannot do that. If you're a hard swinger and you try to hit pitches that Josh Harrison's hit tonight, you're going to strike out. You're going to miss them. At best, you're just going to pop them up and break your bat grounding out.
However, not tonight. As Harrison, who had only fanned 37 times and 232 at bats, You can
from
see
what
why.
we've seen, he's got a terrific approach.
Yep.
When you're facing major league pitching, you cannot make things happen. You can allow them to happen with your approach, but you can't go out and say, well, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that. That is sudden death. There's a strike. Marte, 3 for 4, 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored. Two on, 2 out. And there's a base hit. Got a shot at him, but they're going to hold him. So that'll load him up.
4th hit for Marte.
All started with the arrow, coming with 1 out. Inning should have been over. 3 up, 3 down. With a couple of strikeouts.
Gregory Polanco's first at bat of the evening.
Boy, this young man came in with a lot of pub.
He's one of the top 2 or 3 prospects in the major leagues. Finally getting here. Not much he can't do except smooth out the rough edges as you take a look at a familiar sight tonight. The base is full of Pirates.
High pop up. Beckham making the call. Has the ball, and it'll retire the sides. So we give them an opportunity to score. They don't, and we're into the 8th.
By Miller Lite, and here's our Miller moment. It's the final out of the no-hitter by Liriano against our Sox. Line drive, and that's it. That was May 3rd of 2011. Very happy bunch of twins as Liriano gets it done.
Boy, it seems like it was a lot longer. 11.
Nope.
So here we go. Melky will lead it off, followed by Beckham in the pitcher spot. Melky has gone out to center and then singled at our first hit, leading off the 5th inning. We only have 2 of them. Just goes to show you what a left-hander with a good changeup can do.
Liriano's just had terrific stuff tonight. That started right at the beginning. Even though the first ground ball of the night was booted by Harrison. That's one of the few mistakes the Pirates have made. And both of the base hits have been erased by double plays. Harrison more than made up for it with his bat and with his legs. Pretty impressive numbers so far. And they keep on getting more impressive.
That's 12 strikeouts. Well, we've only stranded one runner.
That one down and in. Melky over the top.
Strikeouts.
Tying his season high.
Gordon has grounded to third. Gum made a good play on him to get him, and then he struck out on a good changeup.
Liriano's career high is 15 strikeouts.
Two down.
J.B. Shuck is coming out. He's going to pinch hit for Nuesi, who was inserted into the 7th spot when he came into the ball game.
We've only had one runner get to second base. Total domination. And some very, very poor defense by our guys.
It's Junior Guerra loosening up in the pen.
One and one to count. Go to the bottom of the 8th. It's 11-0.
pitching change.
Got a couple of changes as Junior Garrett comes in. Pitched against the Rays a couple of innings in Tampa. Gave up a run. Walking a couple of strikeouts.
Gave up a run that shouldn't have been a run.
That's been a recurring theme. J.B. Chuck stays in the game to play left field.
Jung Ho Gong. 2 for 3, 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored.
There is some lightning in the area.
First pitch strike. And some thunder. And that will drive a lot of fans undercover.
Even these loyal Pittsburgh fans probably feel that the drama has been let out of this one quite some time ago.
High and foul. Low throw. Dug out nicely by Abreu.
Cast your vote for the 2015 MLB All-Star Game starting lineups. Go to WhiteSox.com and cast your vote through the Assurance MLB All-Star Game ballot on your computer, tablet, or smartphone. Vote at WhiteSox.com now.
24,536. We saw from Guerra Jr. He's got nice mound presence. He's down at St. Pete. He just came right at him. "30-year-old rookie.
Been a long time trying to get here. And now that he's here, just like everybody else who gets here, they want to stay here.
Yeah, well, when the minimum salary is over $500,000 a year.
And you spend your whole life dreaming about what it would be like to get in the major leagues, and at 30 years old, you finally find out.
Go Hawks. We are just getting ready to have the cow in the flat rock.
The grounds crew is ready to stream out there.
Gordon's got him. And lightning streaks across the skies. 2 down.
Judging by your radar, it doesn't look particularly good.
Let's just say it's just starting. And there's more behind that. Oh boy. They only missed it by 5 hours. Tabata, 1 for 4 with a RBI single coming back in the first inning when they scored 5 runs before we got the first out. Josh Harrison led the first inning off with a walk, and an infield single by Marte, another single by McCutcheon, single by Gone. And that ball is into center field. Not hit hard.
Caromed right off of Guerra.
Jordy Mercer. Pretty good looking player from what we've seen in one game.
Very dependable shortstop. Not going to make spectacular plays, but he will make all the plays.
I was talking with a couple of scouts, Pete Vukovich, Bob Johnson, 2 veteran scouts, 2 good ones. They said this guy was a good, solid shortstop. He gave a rundown on the whole ball club. Said probably the best outfield in all of baseball. Pitching has just been unbelievable. They're giving Clint Hurdle 27 outs. That's in the right. Didn't get a good break on it, but he makes up with it. And catches the ball, and that'll retire the side. So we're into the 9th.
It's a man we didn't see in Texas, Chichi Gonzalez. First round selection, June 2013. He's 2-1. His ERA .42 in 3 starts. Opponents hitting nothing against him. Doesn't have a big fastball. Just moves the ball around and apparently moves it around effectively. So Chichi Gonzalez, our T-Mobile game changer. And we got a new pitcher coming in the game, so the night is done for Liriano. It is Rob Scahill. He's 1-3. His ERA a fine 1.57. They can trot some pretty good pitchers out at you.
Every team can. I mean, I have never seen anything like it. I've never seen this many good young pitchers coming into Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball right now is positioned to have some absolute glorious years going forward with all the great young talent coming in. I mean, pitching, outfielders, infielders. These guys just keep getting better and better talent-wise. I'm not saying they all know how to play the game, because they don't. But team-wise, no. Individually, yes. These guys are just terrific players.
We see it all the time. And we saw Correa of Houston. Looks like he's going to be a star. Indians just brought up Lindor. We'll see how good he's going to be.
Did you see his first hit?
Nope.
He got a base hit in the right field, right center, around in first, and somebody threw out a tripwire on him. Took a header.
Occasionally that'll happen to you. You know, that infield jumps out at you.
It was funny. Whoever was making the call did a great job on it. Said one of the most memorable first hits in Major League history. Yeah, but that Carlos Correa at Houston, he's the closest thing we've seen, just in mannerisms, size, and the whole bit, to Alex Rodriguez when he was a youngster with Seattle.
Well, in watching him in his debut and what he did and how he did it, there doesn't appear to be much he can't do.
How about Joey Gallo?
He's another guy we're going to see coming back. He's hit 4 home runs already.
In 11 games, and they said regardless of what happens, he's going back down.
Yep.
Now that's a heck of a statement to make right off the bat before he's had an at-bat, because you don't know what he's going to do.
Field of Bruce Dreckman, he says no, he didn't swing.
They might have to rethink that situation, but I got to say, from what we saw, it doesn't look like he's going to be able to do it at third base now.
I don't know what they're going to do with him because Adrian Beltre is there.
Well, he's not going to take this one.
What a play that was.
1 out.
Young just moved to his left. A high hopper. This is a guy who can play shortstop, play some second, but very quick first step and an accurate thrower at third.
Well, one of the clubs we belong to, golf clubs in Orlando, Orange Tree, has a lot of Korean youngsters that belong there. And I got to tell you, they are perfect gentlemen and young ladies, and they come out there at sunup and they leave at sundown. They take a break for lunch. It's amazing their work ethic.
That's one of the reasons why on the LPGA,
They dominate.
the Korean players are just outstanding, and get them from about 110 yards in. They're going to put it pretty close to the flag just about every time.
Well, Zhong Jiang, JJ, finished in the top 10, and as he can't get that one for a few years in consecutive. Mina Lee and all of them played at our club, and I'll tell you again, it's just amazing how they might sit there for 7-8 hours practicing 4-foot putts.
Well, the rain is coming down, and there's 2 outs to go.
Two down.
Good backdoor slider.
So here's Adam Eaton. Adam reached on an error, walked and struck out. If you're just joining us, we have not even come close to sniffing a run. We have only stranded 1 base runner. We have 2 hits. 1 infield single. The Barrow single back, softly back through the middle. 2-1 to count with 2 out here in the top of the 9th. Now it evens at 2. Make your plans to be with us tomorrow night. Hopefully we can break this streak that we're in. Jose Quintana against Charlie Morton. Game right here on Comcast Sports Net. Jose looking for his 2nd straight victory. And that is out of play.
Hard to believe the way Liriano threw tonight, that when this one ends, he's going to be just 4-5, because you can't hardly throw any better than he threw.
Well, you got to figure with the errors they made this year, that's got to hurt a couple of their starters.
True.
And he goes full with an 11-run lead. And 2 out in the top of the 9th. And when this ball comes down, this ball game will mercifully be over. Steve, too much Liriano, not enough offense or defense.
No, it was all Pittsburgh tonight, and it started from the get-go, the first inning. After that, it was pretty much no drama, and on to tomorrow.
All right, our player of the game is 31-year-old veteran Francisco Liriano. Boy, 12 strikeouts tonight, no runs, 2 hits, 1 walk. Our player of the game. So for my partner, Steve Stone, our director, Jim Andrew, our producer, John Walgren, our associate producer, Joe Brew, our superb technical manager, Mark Harper. Also for Dan Wolf, Doug Dean, Scott Leffler, and Bill Anderson. This is a Hawk. So long, everybody. Coming up next, Subaru Postgame Live with Chuck and Bill. You've been watching White Sox Baseball on Comcast Sportsnet.